You watch the sunset every day.
Exactly.
Where do you live?
I live in a countryside area in New Delhi.
In New Delhi, near New Delhi.
Exactly.
So are the sunsets really beautiful there usually?
Exactly. It's a so magnificent view, you can say.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. And what kind of genre of book do you usually read?
Most of time I like to read self-relevant life book like philosophy and self-help and novels which are related to real life.
I see. Do you read usually, what's your native language?
My native language is Hindi.
Hindi. Do you read in Hindi usually, or do you read in English?
Most of time I read in English.
Oh, nice. Cool, cool, cool. Um, well, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so good to
Very,
see you as well.
yeah. Do you have, so why did you start an account with Engu?
Why did I start the account with Angu? I just
Yeah,
yeah, my friend suggested me that is the one of the best platform for
yeah.
you for enhancing your English speaking skills.
Nice, good. So this is your trial, right?
Exactly.
Trial lesson. So,
Exactly.
what would you like to work on today in our trial lesson?
What would I like to try on? About my level. My level is upper than intermediate and lower than little bit advanced. I am in middle between that. So I want
Okay,
to use something where I have to speak like a different type of vocabulary where I have to push myself hard. I'm looking for
okay,
something that.
nice. Okay, cool. So you chose the IELTS speaking test preparation.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a test at any point?
Not now, but I'm preparing onwards. Like if I have to give in future, then I will be become perfect.
I see, I see. Okay, so is there anything that you find interesting out of the topics here, or do you want me to kind of show you what else we have on this platform, or
Sure, means I want to show something else.
something else? Okay, so if we go to the materials, there's lots of different materials we can use, depending on what you feel like talking about. A lot of people use the daily news, especially students with like a higher level. As you can see, it's intermediate to proficient. So yeah, people like to use this when they just want to read something and then have a conversation after. Very like like try to have a natural conversation. I will
Mhm.
ask questions, you will answer. Sometimes I will answer questions as well, and you can give your perspective. So that's
I'm looking for something like discussion. This type of thing I can read by myself, and I love to enjoy like real life conversation, like comparing to like news something.
So like, well, one thing that people do if they already, like they don't, because sometimes people will copy me after they like to hear my pronunciation. But for daily news, like, so like, let's say we go to daily news, we can said your intermediate level, right?
Exactly.
So this company wants to build a hotel in space. There's vocabulary. So you can do this lesson how you want. You can skip vocabulary if you want, if it's too easy for you, or we can go over it if there are some words that you don't recognize. And then we can read the article, or you can read the article for me so that we can both know. Some people skip questions. Number 3 has questions.
Yes, miss.
Sometimes they're just comprehension questions. So if you want to answer them to check your understanding, you can. And then
I
we
would
have
like to choose another. Can you show me another? That's not
article.
that's not interesting for me. This one article.
Sure. Well, you can choose one if you want. So if we go to materials, so as you can see, there's lots of materials. We can go daily news. So can you see what I'm looking at right now?
Beyonce and Swift make history at Grammy Awards.
So you can scroll through these articles. This is not the only articles. There's tons of articles here. They post like new articles every day, basically. So we have there's science and technology, culture and entertainment, economy. economy.
Economy.
Economy. So this one,
Economy.
do you find this one interesting here?
Yes, miss. I find this one interesting.
Okay, sounds good. So would you like to go over vocabulary, or do you find that these words are understandable?
I find these words are understandable, and I want to do discussion like something on this.
So you want to do a discussion on this one. Would you like to read it for us, for just so we know what we're talking, so that we have a little more information about this discussion?
I want to skip this one, and I want to go directly on discussion.
Okay. So the thing is with discussion, actually, I'll just skip some of the questions. So, do you usually watch English language movies and TV shows with subtitles?
Exactly, subtitles are for me as English learner. You know about there is when children starts to learn bicycle, there is a like helping vehicle, like a trying wheel on side of a bicycle for helping for sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these
Like
are yeah.
are you talking about training wheels, like the small
E-
wheels on the side
Exactly.
of a bicycle?
Yeah, this one training wheels, and subtitle helps me for like a training wheels as English learner.
I see. For sure, I can see how that helps. Do you put Hindi subtitles or do you put English subtitles?
As English learner, my most focus on English subtitles, and just due to this, I can learn like many vocabularies.
Nice. Have there been any words that you recently learned from watching something, or like maybe an expression you recently learned from watching something?
I learn mug up.
What is it?
Mug up.
What is mug up? Actually, I've never heard that.
Mug up means before exams, students do mug up practice.
Oh, mock up exam.
Yeah,
Like that?
yeah, this one.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Where did you learn it? What show were you watching?
I'm watching something. I'm not watching something. I'm watching something related to student TED talks, something like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there is a one thing I learn when I learn every word. I learn at that time sentence also, and I learn we don't have to be mug up what we learn. We have to incorporate in our real life. We have to we have to contemplate on what we read.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. So, what are your favorite movies and TV shows?
What are my favorite movies and TV shows? I'm a binge watcher of animation movies, and my favorite movie is The Boss Baby.
Boss Baby.
Yeah.
Is there a new one, or you like the old one? Or did you watch the one with the humans or the ones with the animation?
I watch with the animation. It's like I'm not quite sure in which year that movie is produced. Maybe it's in 2018 or 2017, something 19 in this year.
Okay, I see. I've seen like there's one that was produced in like 20, maybe like 10 years ago, or maybe like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
That's the one.
yeah, it's not more than it's like not more than like 5 years. And there is a you can search on YouTube. There is a second part will be coming on after some day, and that is so interesting.
Oh, I see. Cool. Boss Baby.
Yeah.
So yeah. So why do you like animation movies?
Why do I like animation movies? I get many inspiration, like a lot of inspiration from this type of animation movies, and I have learned many things which I can incorporate from like real life. And there is a one thing I learned from The Boss Baby. I would like to tell you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Templeton, the road to success is not a straight line.
The road to success is not a straight line.
Exactly.
Oh, nice. That's a very common like English expression, I guess.
Yeah.
The road to success, or like what is the word for the road is not straight. I'm just wondering if there's a word for these types of It's like a inspirational quotation quote.
Exactly. And one more I have learned from the Kung Fu Panda. When you have inner peace, you can do everything.
Nice, nice. So do you agree with these quotes or these like inspirational quotes?
Exactly. And I feel in my real life also this type of quotes, and I apply, and I
Yeah.
find it truly helpful.
Hmm. For sure. I think like these animation movies, because they're meant for kids, they definitely have like a good moral at the end of the story. Yeah, it's nice. Super cute. Did you spend a lot of time watching TV when you were a kid?
Uh, to be honest with you, I watch like from my childhood cartoons most of time.
Cartoons.
Yeah,
Nice.
like Doraemon, Ninja Hattori, this type of.
Mm. Is that those are like Japanese anime, right?
Yeah, Japanese animation, and these are
Nice.
converted to in native language in Hindi when I'm watching.
Mm, I see. So I was gonna ask, do you like Japanese animation as well? Are you a
Exactly.
fan?
Yeah, I like Doraemon most of.
Do you watch any Studio Ghibli movies? Like
Ghibli.
Spirited Away?
Not I'm not into that type of things too much. Like not Japanese too much because Doraemon
Oh,
is like quite popular in India. That's why we watch.
I see, I see. So what do you find most difficult about reading and writing in English?
What do I think about reading and writing in English? You know,
Yeah, most
in
difficult.
most difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult for me to like in which tense are we talking about? If we are talking about past, we have to change everything according to past, like forms, verb forms, and if we are talking about present, we have to talk about present. And
Yeah.
and about reading, I find this thing is difficult because we are not quite familiar about some words, and there is a one word have more than many meaning, and it depends on which situation or it is on using, and sometimes it is using like adjective, like verb, and everything has a different meaning.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like with the uh, tense as well, like there's like past participle, there's all these other things that you have to think of. Like, oh, if you're talking about something that you do every day, you have to use present, even though you've done it in the past. If you're talking about something that happened.
Yeah, it's become a generally as well this type of habit
Yeah,
habit.
it gets very complicated. Even like I've taught grammar for a while, and even myself, like explaining it, it's like I feel like, oh wow, like this must be so difficult for people learning
For you
how to.
are for you also, you are a native speaker.
Yeah, but I can understand that how like the grammar can be so complicated for learners.
Uh-huh.
Because for me, it's just like it is. I never really like I learned it, but I just knew it. With your negative language, you just know how to do
Exactly.
it. You
Exactly.
don't really know why, you just know.
Yeah,
So it's,
you know about I just love to watch like content, and I believe that content is more important than any grammar rule. Like if you are reading and if you are like watching, then it is much better than it is the practical way of learning structure of grammar sentences, like how they are using, and then you will know
yeah,
they are using in different type of situation, and then you will make a like grammar your part of your like speaking if you are like reading and if you are watching.
yeah, yeah. I also think that like with when you start to watch people and things like that, especially when we're just having a natural speech, natural conversation, we tend to ignore a lot of grammar rules. Like when I speak, it's not grammatically correct half the time, right? Because maybe we take shortcuts, we shorten things,
Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
sometimes maybe English speakers don't even know, right? They don't even know the correct grammar rules, so they're just doing something that they thought was right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it is kind of yeah, it is good to learn that way because then you'll learn the natural way, like what sounds natural, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, what do you? Oh, no, no, no. Have you read any good books recently?
Have I ever read a good recent book? As I'm an avid reader, I have read many books, and one of my favorite is Attitude is Everything.
Attitude is everything.
Exactly, by Jeff Keller.
So, can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, it's all about courage.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you have to take action. You don't have to, if you want to do something in your life, don't think about like failure, anything. Just being in the moment and do action, because you have to
Hmm.
live in moment and you have to do action. And if you're doing that, you will be better.
Yeah. Cool. I like that. Yeah, for sure. So, do you feel like you have started to incorporate that into your life?
Exactly, and I have learned also one thing: the words which we are using also impact our life. If you are saying like, if you are angry so much, you can say like normally we say angry, I'm and frustrated. You can say I am furious. I am furious. That is another
Mhm.
type of feeling you will get. And if a person
Yeah.
asks you, and my behavior is totally changed now, always in I am high spirits just because of that book. Like, if every person asks me like how are you, I always say I'm terrific, I'm doing tremendously amazing, I'm fantastic. And just
Yeah.
because of this, my attitude is going like that. Every day I'm feeling like so enjoyment, feeling empowerment.
Wow, that's great. What's the book called again? I'm gonna write it down. I
The
like this book.
the attitude is everything. As I can see, you gonna read that book after some time.
uh, yeah, well, I think I agree with that kind of idea though. Like the
Mhm.
way that you kind of frame things in your life, like
Exactly.
like you said, like you don't have to see things like a certain situation. You can either see it as a very negative situation, it's awful, my life sucks, or you can frame it in a different way and say, well, this is a learning experience. I can learn from this. I can move on from this, or something like, for example, right? So yeah, I do like the idea of like attitude is everything, living presently. I read a book called The Power of Now.
Uh, I think so. I have heard about this book many times.
Yeah, so it's not this, but the idea of living presently,
Mhm.
um, and not like attaching so many feelings to like the past or the future. Because I guess one thing that I kind of took away from this book is how, like, in daily life, you're either looking, okay, what's going to happen in the future? What is going to happen to me next week? What's going to happen to me in 6 months, right? Even though you can't control what's going to happen, you're always thinking about it. Or you think about the past a lot, some people, and you cannot control what happened then. So, it's nice to be nostalgic, but if it's something where it's worrying you all the time, it's not really useful because you can't do anything about it now, right? So, yeah, it's kind of the whole idea of living presently, just like being here in this moment. Just,
That's
yeah.
make a lot of sense. You know,
Yeah.
if you could recommend me one book, which book would you like to recommend me? Your favorite
I would
book?
actually, I would recommend this one.
The Power
If
of
you,
Now.
yeah, I would recommend this one. I find that one quite interesting. Are you religious or spiritual at all?
Exactly. You can say I'm living with my life with harmony with those. I'm an open-minded person.
Okay, so yeah, then you might be interested in this. It does speak about God often in this book, but for me, I'm not very spiritual or religious, but
Mhm.
the main idea of it is not really like about God, even though they use the word God often.
Mhm.
So I just kind of like, I guess I kind of, when they talk about stuff that's like maybe not like, God and stuff, I kind of think of some other sort of entity, not really like a religious entity, if that makes sense.
Exactly. I have read one book also, like How to Win Friends, the Power of Subconscious Mind. And there sometimes they are using like God word, and God word is like for telling you something, like for getting you will understand much better if they use word god.
Yeah, for sure. So I do recommend this book. I don't really. This is like the first book I've read that's like a like philosophy kind of style book. I usually just read like fiction books. Yeah,
Fiction books.
but I do have a Deepak Chopra book that I need to read. Do you know Deepak Chopra?
Can you please write it down for me?
Uh, it's like about love or something in this book. I need to start reading it. Oh, he's an Indian American.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm reading I'm trying to read. It's like about love, how love affects you or something. But yeah, I still need to start. Okay, so we're running out of time. Do you have any questions or comments before we finish our lesson?
Sure, I would like to ask you, what is the best advice you ever get in your life?
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know. The best advice I've got in my life. Oh no. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. I guess like for me, I'm a very I like to travel and I like to kind of not live in a very structured way, I guess you could say. So for me, my parents have always helped me kind of. I tend to be like a worry wart of a person, worrisome. So them always telling me that, or maybe how about this? Like I always see how my parents put a lot of like they use travel a lot, or they travel a lot. So that kind of influenced me to live my life the way I do. So I guess I don't have any quotes for you, but I guess my parents influenced me just by their actions, getting me to be more open-minded about travel and kind of encouraging me to do it as well.
Yeah, I would like to give you a quote of the day today.
Sorry?
I would like to give you a quote of the day today.
Sure. Yes, let's hear it.
You don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step.
Nice. So you don't have to see
the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step.
That's great. I like that quote. Thank you. Okay, this will shut off immediately, like on its own in 20 seconds. So thank you so much. I had so much fun talking to you today. Bye.
Yeah, and I'll gain plethora of knowledge from you, and in future I will do ton of reservation. Do
you watch the sunset every day?
Exactly.
Where do you live?
I live in a countryside area in New Delhi.